Surah Al-Ikhlas is 112 surah and found in the 30th para of the Holy Quran. This surah contains 4 verses, 17 words, 47 letters, and it is revealed in Makkah, so referred to as the Makki Surah, and this surah is called the Purity. Benefits of reciting Surah Al-Ikhlas. Several hadiths clearly underline the virtues of Surah Al-Ikhlas. Reciting this surah offers the same reward as reciting a third of the Quran. It is believed that Allah will gather all the good of this world and the next one for those who recite this surah. It is also believed that all the sins of those who don't abandon the recitation of this surah will be forgiven by Allah along with the sins of her parents, and children. Reciting Surah Al-Ikhlas is believed to be the means of earning Allah's love and attaining paradise. It also banishes poverty and increases sustenance. In addition, the constant recitation of this surah makes a person worthy of having the Archangel Jibreel participate in her funeral prayer. Surah Ikhlas Hadiths. There are numerous hadiths that underline the significance and virtues of this surah, and some of these hadiths are as follows. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri narrated, a man heard another man reciting Surah Al-Ikhlas repeatedly. He went to the Prophet and informed him, thinking that the recitation of this surah alone was not enough. Allah's apostle replied, by him in whose hand my life is, it is equal to 1/3 of the Quran. Aisha, peace and blessings, narrated, the Prophet sent an expedition under the leadership of a man who led his companions in the prayers and finished his recitation with Surah Al-Ikhlas. When they returned, they mentioned this to the Prophet. He said, ask him why he does so. When they asked him, he replied, I do so because this surah states the qualities of the merciful Allah, and I love to recite it. When the Prophet heard this, he said, tell him that Allah loves him. Abu Sa'id narrated, the Prophet asked his companions, is it difficult for any of you to recite 1/3 of the Quran in one night? They replied, who among us has the power to do so? Allah's apostle said, Allah, the One, the self-sufficient Master whom all creatures need. Narrated by Al-Tirmidhi, say Surat Al-Ikhlas and Al-Mu'awwidatain 3 times in the morning and the evening. They will suffice you from everything. Aisha narrated, whenever the Prophet went to bed every night, he cupped his hands together and blew over them. After reciting Surah Al-Ikhlas, Surah An-Nas, and Surah Al-Falaq, then he rubbed his hands over every part of his body he could, starting with his face, head, and front. He did that 3 times every night. Imam Ahmad recorded Ibn Omar saying, I watched the Prophet reciting 24 or 25 times in the 2 rak'ahs before the morning prayer and the 2 rak'ahs after the sunset prayer, say, O ye infidels, Surah Al-Kafirun, and say, He is Allah, one. Imam Malik ibn Anas recorded that Ubayd bin Hunayn said that he heard Abu Hurairah saying, I went out with the Prophet and he heard a man reciting Surah Al-Ikhlas. So the Prophet said, it is obligatory. I asked, what is obligatory? And he replied, paradise. All these hadith highlight that Surah Al-Ikhlas is an important chapter in the Quran, and Islamic scholars recommend reciting it as well as understanding its message.